Welcome, everyone, to Monterey Podcast. I am here today with Jeremy Johnston, and I am excited that he is the owner of two flooring companies over in the Ohio area. And we're going to be diving into the history of his business and how he acquired both of them, how it's going, some trends, challenges, changes in technology, and what he's seeing. So I'm looking forward to kind of getting his point of view. So welcome to the show, Jeremy, and why don't you just give a brief introduction?
Yeah, thank you, Dominic, for having me on. I'm Jeremy Johnston. I purchased both of my flooring companies. One I purchased in 2020, a month before the pandemic kind of shut everything down, which was an interesting experience. And then 3 years later, decided that I wanted to add another one, so I purchased another flooring store 3 years later. All of this is happening in a retail market that is challenging, to say the least. So, cash flow is probably the top of priority for myself as well as most business owners, right? That's the day-to-day tale. But it's been awesome to see and take over legacy companies that have been around for 40 or 50 years and trying to implement new technologies to help streamline and provide a better customer experience.
That's interesting. So I haven't talked to too many people who have acquired businesses yet. So I think that'd be something to kind of touch base on and kind of explain how you got into that and how you decided to do it again.
Yeah. So my father passed away in 2017 and left me a little bit of money. And I decided that I wanted to take that and figure out a way to change the trajectory of not just my life, but my kids' lives and grandkids' lives, et cetera. So I decided to look for an opportunity to purchase a business. I was not in construction or flooring previous to that. I was in call centers and running those, and just started looking for businesses, found a flooring store that was being run by a 70-year-old woman from South Carolina remotely, and jumped on it. So I figured that if she was able to successfully manage a company for over 40 years and the last several doing it remotely, that I thought that I would be able to jump in and do better. And very challenging. I probably bit off more than I knew what I was doing at the time. Like I said, a month later, pandemic hit. 60+% of our business was selling flooring to Red Roof Inns nationwide. And that went away immediately. So I sent everybody home and kind of bootstrapped and figured it out on my own, going out and doing measurements and cutting the carpet and helping my team here, which was great because, as most construction people know, mid to end of 2020, flooring took off. Everybody was looking at their floors and said, hey, I want to update this. They had all the extra pandemic money sitting around and decided to do that. So started to be a boom, and then October of that year, our warehouse burnt to the ground. So that was, we had two, so we were lucky in that regards. And, it was a great way to get rid of excess inventory that had been around for 20 plus years. And so ended up being a blessing and being able to build it the way that we wanted it to be done. But as we saw that, demand going up, I decided to try to expand the empire, so to speak, and found another company that was for sale on the other side of Columbus. So we kind of straddled both sides of Columbus, Ohio, and purchased that in 2023. In hindsight, that was probably not the right decision to make based on 23 and 24 and 25 kind of being down from a retail perspective. So we've kind of pivoted to shifting to more commercial and home builders focus in order to just, keep the business, flat to growing and are excited about where we're headed over the next, 6 to 18 months.
So where do you find these businesses? Were you just searching online, word of mouth, networks?
The worst possible place. So all of those are great places to find businesses. And I read a book kind of in between the two called Buy Then Build, which would be a really good resource for anybody who is looking to do what I did. I found both of my businesses on bizbuysell.com, which I would never recommend to anybody, because at that point, everyone has looked at the business and turned it down, right? So the broker has resorted to posting it online on like Zillow for businesses. And so most of those companies have already been looked over by anybody in a VC or other type of environment to purchase them. So yes, I overpaid for both of my businesses. Hindsight is 2020. But it's a good, have learned a ton. And I'm excited about as we pay off these loans, like the amount of liquidity that's going to provide for us once that is done is incredible.
Well, that's good. I mean, great for you that you went through it, and I mean, thank you for the insight to our viewers as well for giving them the knowledge about that website as well. And good to hear. So I heard you say originally we were in kind of the hotel industry, like very first started, and then
Yep.
we were transitioning to commercial and home builders. Is that's mainly where the focus is for your installs now?
Yeah, I mean, I would still say that we are very heavily retail still. So, the business today is probably, 20% retail ish, and then the other 80% is commercial and builder. With some of that commercial probably leaning more towards like apartments and so forth. We keep the retail in there just because the margins on the retail is more than double what it is on the commercial side. Uh, but the commercial side with relationships and so forth can really help to grow the business and keep our installers busy.
Steady pipeline, correct?
Correct. Yep.
Awesome. So what trends are you seeing now? I guess
I
you've
mean,
seen it go up and down and all over the place. So I think this would be a good opportunity for you to tell where we're at and where we're headed.
yeah, on the retail side, we're seeing consumers that have access to money still buying, right? So what we've seen is a transition from like the luxury vinyl, the bottom of the barrel, like, cheap flooring into hardwood, ceramic, and higher end carpets. We are seeing more and more customers buying better carpets for the areas that they're putting carpets in, but not putting it in as many areas, right? So we're seeing a lot more customers who are spending money on really nice carpet runners, nice engineered floors from a retail perspective. On the commercial side, it's still carpet tiles, glued down, luxury vinyl. But where we're trying to really educate our customers, both on both sides, is like there's a difference in price, and there's a difference in price for a reason, right? You can put down luxury vinyl in your personal home. You're not going to get the return on that investment like you would on an engineered hardwood. The selling point typically is that luxury vinyl can withstand everything, so to speak, water, etc. But most people, if they spill water on their floors, they're going to clean it up. Right? They're not
Right.
going to just let it sit there. So an engineered hardwood is going to withstand that. Right? It's going to withstand people's pets as long as they don't have like daggers for claws. So, it's really just educating a consumer against some of the marketing and advertising that a lot of the bigger companies use to try to race to the bottom and say, you know what, look, get what you want at the end of the day, right? Like we're part of Carpet One, that's part of a co-op. And one of the things that we heard there loud and clear was a staggering fact. Like if I ask you right now, what percent of homeowners do you think plan on replacing their floors in 2026? What do you think it would be?
I would say pretty high, 65.
Really? Okay, so you're right. We all thought that it was going to be closer to like 20 to 30%, but they did a study that said 65% of homeowners are going to be replacing their floors this year.
Look at that. How about hitting the nail on the head?
Absolutely. But they also said we should focus more on a ideal home versus an ideal customer. And that ideal home is a home built after 1980, a millennial. And they also said that millennials are looking for some place that they don't want surprises, so they want everything included in their price, and they want to know what it's going to cost them per month, not for the project. So financing
So
is
financing available.
exactly extremely important. So we have kind of pivoted on our retail side, and we've gone to we've got you covered installation package, and all of our pricing includes everything. So if we have to tear up ceramic, it's included. If we have to put down shoe mold, it's included. If we have to move appliances, it's included. If we have to move a toilet, it's included. If we have to put subfloor down, it's included, all in our standard price. And then we're pricing it out to the customer on a 12-month 0% interest basis, which is something that we offer to everybody. Obviously, some people don't qualify, but it's available for our customers if they want it.
That's interesting. So, with that being said, more than 50% of people wanting to do this, I mean, I would assume that you're trying to grow the business right now then.
We are. We are absolutely trying to grow the business as quickly as we can. It's getting in front of the right consumers, right? Because the majority, with buying a company, I have legacy thinking, right? So I have employees who have been with us for a long time. I have a part-time individual whose parents started the company. So she is in her 70s. So getting her to pivot and understand the mindset of a millennial is a challenge. She's coming around to it. What she really likes is, focusing on the long-term and sustainable effects of flooring. So like focusing on nylon versus a polyester, just a better product for the customer. So that's kind of where we're focusing. Getting her to understand that we've got you covered promise is a little bit more of a challenge because she wants to line item every single thing in there. If we have to go back and do more prep than we thought, go back and try to back charge the customer for that. But that's not how consumer wants to operate. My mom in Texas, they're not here, got her floors recently done by another company, obviously because we don't service down there. And when I was talking to her about it, she's like, I wonder how much they're going to charge me for all of the extra work they had to do. And I'm like, Mom, what do you mean? And she's like, well, like they told me that they might have to charge me if there's unforeseen things that they had to deal with. And I'm like, Mom, they're like 80% done with your floor. Did they tell you they're going to charge you for anything? She's like, no, but I expect that they probably will. I'm like, how are you going to spend, five figures, tens of thousands of dollars on new flooring throughout your house and just like guess on what your final bill is going to be? Like that's not the way that I would do business. I'm guessing that's probably not the way that you would want to do business. But so we're just trying to embrace that fear that customers have and eliminate it and say, it doesn't matter. We've got you covered. And if they come back and say, hey, I'll tear up my old floor, it's like, that's great, but the price is the price. We're not going to change it. So if you want to do the
So
extra
you don't
work,
even manipulate them. That's nice. It keeps it simple, straightforward. So what methods are you using to try to target the clientele that you're trying to acquire?
mostly Facebook and meta advertising. So that's kind of the biggest area. We're trying to go more organic right now, but talking to a couple of companies to come in and help us create more fun TikTok-like advertisements to kind of grab that millennial and grab their attention at least, and then follow it through with the authenticity and the factor of like, you don't need to worry about anything. We're going to take care of it. You can go find, Chuck in a truck or Stan in a van, and they can install the flooring for you. But if they have a problem or they run into any issues, are they really going to be there?
Yep. So what challenges have you been recently coming across with all of this?
The biggest thing is it really comes down to cash flow, right? Like with the business having 80% commercial and builder, it becomes very challenging to do. While they're larger projects, there is a longer pay cycle on those. And so, I think a lot of people just don't understand how challenging that can be for a business owner or for a business in general. We are last year we did about $5 million in revenue between the two companies. And when we were looking at accounts receivable earlier, it was over $200,000, right? So that is, 5% of our annual business that we have in accounts receivable that we're waiting on to be paid for. So that is the largest thing that then compounds things because then it forces you to affects your marketing budget. It affects a number of things. So that really is the largest challenge. And then having the right message to get out to those consumers that are looking to change their floors. Because in flooring, unlike others, we run into a lot of things like, Lowe's or other big box companies. I probably shouldn't have said their name, but other big box companies out there that will say,
I can edit that out. You're good.
like free installation, or 75% off of installation. It's like, people don't understand that. So we also discount. So for the month of February, we're offering 30% discount on any of our in stock. It's 40% off, but we're just trying to get that attention from a customer. That has been a challenge for some of our staff as well, because they're like, why are we just giving a discount? And it's like, well, you literally just said that you were going shopping at Kohl's after this, right? But they offer all the time discounts, Kohl's Cash, all of these incentives to get you in the door. And it's all part of marketing, right? So we are trying to embrace as much of that as we can to generate some hype and some interest and get get people to at least give us a chance to bid on their project.
Well, I mean, you're doing quite a bit of revenue over both companies. How many employees do you guys have? And do you have all in-house installers, or do you subcontract some of that out?
We subcontract all of our installers out. So all of our installers are independent contractors who do not work for us, but we tend to use a lot of the same subcontractors over and over again, but they do work for other people. As far as our in-house team, we have seven of us that are employees of the company between sales, warehouse, and back office, in order to serve our customers. And then our crews, we will operate anywhere from 4 to 8 crews at any given point in time.
So, with that being said, since you guys are kind of a small outfit, what technological advances have you tried to make within your company? Have you explored any of that with the world of AI and the surge of it coming on so quick?
I've encouraged my team to use AI and Chat GPT, when they have a question or they just want to do some research, just reaching out to them. I use it myself for marketing ideas and ways to just kind of help understand where we're going. We have switched from the flooring industry has 3 or 4 flooring software companies, right? And the majority of them are system-based, so server-based products where even one of them that we used, you log into a cloud-based desktop, right, in order to do it. So we switched that over to a web-based program. So now we're able to utilize our phones to get that and send it directly out to the customer and see if they looked at the quotes that we sent out. We also use our measuring on there with a Bluetooth laser and so forth. At least most of us do. I still have one guy who uses a tape measure. I don't think I'm ever going to get that away from him. But so we're trying to utilize that. We have seen one of our friends who owns a flooring store has taken and created a chat bot to take the quotes and sends it through his chat agent, his AI chat agent, and it goes through and checks to make sure that like the material matches the labor amount of square footage. And then if it's like a commercial project, looks at do we match up the right glue to that? Do we have the right glue amounts based on what we're doing? Did we forget to put baseboards on? And sends back to the sales agent just a second set of eyes and says, hey, here are all of the things that we flagged. Please double check this before you send out that quote. And he's seen that it's saving himself, 4 to 6 hours a week in that. And it's also caught over $250,000 worth of changes that needed to be made. So it saved him quite a bit of money.
Yep. I mean, that's what it's there for, right? You got to utilize the resources that are there. And there's so much out there that can be implemented. It is just interesting to hear how within each industry and each niche, how it's making its way and just improving the overall quality and just efficiency and of how businesses are operating nowadays. So thank you for that insight. I really appreciate it. Last but not least, let's go for goals for 2026. So 6 to 12 months. What are we thinking?
So my overall goal that my team says I'm crazy for having is that I want us to do $11 million in 2026. So more than doubling. I tried to stretch that goal out there just to, see what the company can do. If we hit 8 million or 9 million, am I going to be happy? Absolutely. I mean, that's huge from where we're at right now. But if we have the mindset to hit $11 million, what do we fundamentally have to do differently in order to scale to that point? What do we need to do differently from a sales perspective? What do we need to do differently from a process perspective? What positions are we going to need as we get to that $11 million? And really taking it seriously. I tried to make it high enough that at least half of the team thinks that I'm crazy for it. Because if not, then I'm probably not pushing us hard enough or fast enough.
Understood. So what have you put in place so far to try to attain those goals?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is on the commercial side because that's the easiest and fastest way to get large projects to move forward. So just setting goals of number of projects that we are bidding on in order to get there, and then trying to just overhaul and make that bidding process more efficient. And then also from a networking perspective, getting out and talking to other companies. One of my banking friends and I are figuring out a way for us to get some of our end customers in a room with myself and commercial roofers, commercial drywallers, commercial painters, etc., for us to host some networking events with some of our end user customers in order to just understand what their challenges are. Similar to what you're doing with the podcast, right? Like understanding what some of the challenges are, understanding their stories, but then also letting them know how we might be able to help.
Nice. Awesome. Well, I think you're on a good trajectory and a good start, and wish you nothing but the best. So I'm looking forward to see how you grow both the companies here, and if you can attain that 11 million revenue number here at the end of the year. So thank you so much, Jeremy, for coming on. Best
Absolutely.
of luck, and I'm looking forward to see where you can take it.
Awesome. I appreciate that. Thank you for having me on.